How are we, boys and girls? Welcome to the Going Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Braam Hein, creating koala on all social media platforms, and here we will be deep diving on all things health and wellness related. How are you, first of all? Hopefully fantastic. We're on episode 15, mate. Yeah, mate. 15 straight weeks. Never missed an upload, I don't think. Have I not? No, I haven't. Because I'm goated. Also, I deeply apologize if I look to my right a lot during this, because currently there's a group of like 9 people. I live in a graduate dorm, by the way, just so you know. So there's a bunch of like graduate students, PhD students, master students, like the really smart people in this building. And there's currently a group of like 10 people out there learning how to twerk. Just, it's so funny. They're having a great time. Honestly, I can't knock it because it's like they're learning how to do a little dance and there's twerking and stuff in it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so funny. Because it's like just good mannered. You know what I mean? It's all good fun. It's pretty funny. And they're probably doing it for a little event. Makes people laugh, makes people giggle. It's all that matters. School over here has been pretty busy too. Body roll. Hello. Yeah, it's been pretty busy recently. Been pretty hectic, but only a few more weeks left, and then first year will be done, and then only a little bit more, and then we will graduate with a master's degree. Kind of cool. Never thought I'd say that. Cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, but today's episode is brought to you by nobody just yet, because we'll have a sponsor soon. Maybe, I don't know. But today's episode is all about muscle growth and how to maximize it. So I think that's a big topic, because you'll get started in the gym or has been in the gym for a little bit. That's the main thing they want to do. How can I maximize muscle growth? Basically put in the least amount of effort for the most amount of muscle, or put in the most amount of effort for the most amount of muscle. You know what I mean? I've been stuck in either of those boats, but now I'm kind of in the middle of like, I'm doing everything I can to maximize muscle growth, but if I don't get it perfect, then it's okay. Because I'm still getting there. I'm still doing things to get there. So is it perfect all the time? No. Is it going to be perfect anytime? No. And your journey isn't going to be perfect either. But I'm going to be hitting on some things to where if you can lock in the majority of them, you will be fine. There are a few things which are non-negotiables, like sleep and stress, because those things can hinder everything if you don't get those in check. But the other things are just to get as much bang for your buck as you can. But the first one, like I just said, that is kind of a non-negotiable is sleep. And that is, sorry, I saw my friend, hello. The first thing is sleep. As a non-negotiable, there have been several studies done that if people don't get their sleep in check and get less than 6 hours, then muscle protein synthesis goes down the gutter. Recovery from bouts of exercise goes down the gutter. Ghrelin shoots up. You eat way more food than you need to. You're always more stressed. Your body's in a state of stress if you don't get enough sleep. And it's just all around not a great time for your body. So you need. It's not a can you need to get your sleep in check, all right? There are going to be days where some things come up, life happens, maybe school happens, where you just need to grind out for an extra few hours and you're going to get a little bit less sleep that day. That's fine. I used to stress a lot about that and be like, oh my God, my week is ruined because I got this one bad night's sleep, or even 2 nights of bad sleep. It's completely fine. As long as everything else, everything that is in your control for sleep is in check and you're getting at least 7 hours, 7 to 9, ideally 8 to 10, 8 to 9. As long as you get those in check, you're beautiful. And you don't need to do this. Like, you don't need, again, to get it every single night. But just try to avoid bad night's sleep as much as you can. They're going to happen, but just avoid them as much as you can. And to optimize this kind of thing is to avoid caffeine intake 12 hours before, ideally, or if you have to, 8 hours before. And obviously having a colder room, colder temperature is more ideal for sleep because your body's able to reduces core temperature, because that's the big thing about getting sleep, is reducing your core temperature. You can take supplements like melatonin, or you can also take like magnesium or ashwagandha to help reduce stress levels and help calm your body down. And I personally I've found that having a meal, my last meal at like 6 p.m. if I'm going to bed at like 10, 11 or 12, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. at the latest is like my max for my last meal, really. Like, I don't like to be digesting food close to bed, because then it just kind of gets all funky. And then, yeah, I also like to not cut off water, but start drinking a lot less water a few hours before bed. Like having a glass of water every now and then, like if I'm going to bed at like 10, having a glass of water at night is going to kill me, because I'm going to pee before I go to bed either way. I haven't like woken up to pee in years, and I feel like it's because I've just regulated that pretty well. But yeah, having a glass of water by the nightstand, you can if you want, because you wake up really thirsty. If you wake up really thirsty during the night, I've never understood that, because it means you're not hydrating properly during the day. So just hydrate properly during the day, and you won't have to have a glass of water with you at night. You know what I mean? So getting those in check, and you'll be fine. You'll have uninterrupted sleep. It'll be all good, and you can wake up, do your business, whatever. Those are my biggest tips for sleep. I'm sorry for this. This might be a little quicker today. I kind of just want to give you the information, not blab about it too much, and just, you know what I mean? Okay. Second thing, food. To maximize muscle growth, you don't have to be bulking. You don't have to be chucking in, slamming a bunch of food. It's actually bad. But not bad. Like overeating is bad, obviously, but being in a calorie surplus is not bad. But you just have to have sufficient food. You have to be eating at least your maintenance. No, okay. Again, sorry. You can be in a slight deficit. You can't be in too heavy of a deficit. Otherwise, your body's just trying to maintain muscle. If you're in a slight deficit, you can build muscle. It is ideal. But I probably shoot for maintenance, because then you can kind of maintain. And then maybe a slight surplus, because then you're giving your body more energy than it needs. So then it has more leeway to play with getting your big old muscles some more love and care with those carbohydrates and proteins that you're giving it. But it has to be sufficient. You can't be too low in a deficit, and you can't also be way too sufficient. If your maintenance is 2,500 and you're feeding yourself 4,000, will you build muscle? Yes, but it's not going to be the most ideal place in the world for you. You're not going to feel great. Your workout's going to suffer, and you're also just going to feel very sluggish, and you're going to gain a lot of unwanted weight. So it's not, and then that's just going to mess with your metabolic pathways, and it's not going to go as well as you want. So keeping it within that small little range of, not small little range, it's a decent range of a slight deficit to a slight surplus, anywhere in the middle, you're good. Just staying in a maintenance range. Sorry, they're going for it. Yeah. I want to turn the camera on to film, but I don't edit these, so I don't want to have to like put it back in a like bowl. Anyway, but also you need to be eating sufficient protein, so at least 0.6 per pound of body weight, or like 1.5 per kg. If you know your lean mass, like if you have a DEXA scan, or if you've not any like skin folds or any of that bullshit, like a proper DEXA scan where you're getting exact readings of muscle and bone and fat mass and all that stuff. If you know your lean mass, eating roughly that in pounds, or 1.2 times that in pounds, you'll be golden. That's personally what I recommend, is lean mass in pounds. As of recently, I have changed. I used to not recommend, but I feel like the generalized recommendation of 1 gram per pound of body weight is very, very generalized, and it's not towards the majority of people. It works for people who are decently lean, or bodybuilders, or people who aren't incredibly overweight. But yeah, for the general population, the lean mass one is probably better. but a lot of people don't know their lean mass. So that's why people go to the 0.6 or the 0.8 or the 1 gram per pound of body weight. Also, carbohydrates are necessary for muscle growth, like because your body utilizes that as energy and stores glycogen within muscles. So if you're not having carbs, you're not maximizing muscle growth, and that's also been seen in studies to where eating carbs pre and post workout maximizes muscle protein synthesis, which means good muscle is being grown, being boost. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's really that on food. Obviously, you need fats. I've talked about that previously, but that's the main points in terms of muscle growth you need for food. Just eating enough, getting in plenty of protein, enough for your personal body type, and carbs are your friend in terms of muscle growth. Talk about training. You need to be progressively overloading frequently. And by that, I mean you need to be pushing numbers in the gym, and I would try to avoid as much as possible getting in kind of the gray areas of you don't know if you're getting strong enough. That means you're not training hard enough, you haven't taken a deload, or you haven't rested long enough, or you're not recovering enough. So you're not taking enough time for your body to adapt to the weights, and you aren't able to come back in a week and put up higher numbers. Progressive overload is just being able to, session by session or week by week or block by block, you are putting up more weight than you previously did. And that is inherently important for muscle growth, because if you are putting up more weights, if you just think about it, if you're able to put more load on the bar and do the same amount of reps as you previously did, that means you have more muscle, or your body is better at recruiting motor units to the muscle, which means it's more likely to grow. So either way, one of those two has to be true, and that means your muscle is growing in a good way, in the right trajectory. So you need to do that. And that only happens if you're A, training hard enough, B, you're resting enough, and C, I'm forgetting what C is. You're adapting the training, and you're changing your program up to which your body isn't getting too used to the movements that you're doing. That's what I meant to say. You have to adapt your training plans to your body's new demands. If you keep going at the same thing you're doing all the time, you will not grow. Unless you have to change rep schemes, change sets, change variations of exercises, going from dumbbell to barbell, or doing more speed, like power work, whatever it is, changing the eccentric load, changing the concentric load, whatever it is, doing those things will help you maximize your muscle growth. I've gone into depth about that previously. I probably will later on in my life in this podcast as well. But the main thing you need to know for maximizing muscle growth is you have to be progressively overloading to be able to build that muscle. And sorry, I'm checking the time. I need to be somewhere in a little bit. Sorry. Because if you don't progressively overload, your muscles will stay the same and will maintain. You'll still look pretty good, probably. You might lean out a little bit, but your body will adapt to it, and you won't get any more progress. Train hard, please. But also, rest hard. That's my biggest philosophy. I can't remember where I heard that from. It might have been Lane Norton. No. Who was it? It was somebody. Might have been C-Bum, honestly. Or Justin King. One of the three. But it was train hard, rest harder. Because the more impactful, might have been Mike Israel, honestly. If you rest hard, if you really take care of your rest and you decrease stress, which I'm going to talk about later, and you are able to recover, that means you're able to push more in the gym, you're able to do more in the gym, you're about to have more sessions, more load, more volume, bada bing, bada boom, more muscle, more growth, more strength, more gains, more better money, better. I thought about what's his face, Tony Stadovich video. That's funny. Anyway, Before I get into stress, I'm going to talk about supplements. Supplements for muscle growth. Do you need them? No. Are they beneficial? Yes. If you really have everything else dialed in. If you don't have any of the other things dialed in, supplements, throw them out the window. You don't need them. You need to focus on everything else first. You need to focus on training, food, sleep. That's what you need to focus on. And also your stress levels, which I'm going to talk about later. But supplements, if you don't have everything else in check, you don't need them. Now, supplements that can help and probably will help you if you need them. Multivitamin, obviously, because most of you, I love you, you're probably not getting the right amount of vitamins that you need on a daily basis from your diet. So multivitamins are what covers most people's bases. Ashwagandha is good for stress relief. So ashwagandha, ironically, weirdly, that's the second one that I pick. But ashwagandha is really good for lowering stress and lowering cortisol. So it's good for at nighttime. It's good for letting you kind of relax, go to sleep. What else? Magnesium is really good for like your muscle stimulation and getting signals through your muscles and keeping them healthy, and also just maintaining regular brain function and all that kind of stuff. There's different strains of magnesium: malate, glycinate, threonate, whatever. Threonate is better for sleep. Like, they're all beneficial for certain things. Just whatever one you specifically want to use magnesium for, because magnesium is a mineral that people are very, very deficient in. Is it a vitamin or mineral? Oh my god, I think it's a mineral. Sorry. Is it a vitamin? No, it's not. Anyway, but that's really, really helpful. Things like zinc to kind of like have foundational health. Most supplements, do they work? Yeah, they'll work for you if you have everything else to check again. But it's something that you really need to look into. It's very variable from person to person. So obviously, I would recommend getting your blood work done if you really want to get supplements, and then using that to kind of streamline what you want to get. Omega-3 is really good for combating heavy levels of inflammation and overall brain health as well. So, and you get that from fish, which a lot of you probably don't eat on a regular basis. If you do, you probably don't need one. But I still take one every day. And I eat fish maybe once a week. Probably not as much as I should either way. But yeah, having that as well is really, really good, just for overall health as well. And supplement, I guess, kind of pre-workout. Like, it kind of maximizes muscle growth because it stimulates more blood flow to the muscles with like the L-citrulline, the beta-alanine, and all that kind of stuff. And also caffeine does enhance performance, which would then, in turn, if you are a frequent user of it, will help you maximize muscle growth in the gym. I can't believe I haven't said the biggest one of all. Creatine is the biggest thing. Creatine is the best thing for muscle growth. In my opinion, it's the best thing that anyone can take, and period. It's just, it helps improve cognition, muscle strength, muscle stamina, muscle size. You realize I said the word muscle 3 different times there. So it's probably going to maximize muscle growth. It's going to stimulate a lot of muscle growth. It's going to get you a lot stronger. It's going to get you a lot faster, have better endurance, bigger muscles, fuller muscles because it brings water to the muscles. Do I look kind of jacked in the shirt? Sorry. But it's vital if you want to maximize muscle growth. That's vital. It's also just vital for health in general. I'm sorry. It is. It really is. So you need to take creatine. You need to. I'm going to preach that till the day I die. Everyone needs to take creatine. No matter what. Anyway, moving on. Another supplement is electrolyte supplements. So the electrolyte supplements are just potassium, magnesium, and oh my god, I'm an idiot. Sodium. Sorry. Sodium being salt. They're all key electrolytes. You can take them. I would honestly recommend taking them in the morning as soon as you wake up, because that's when you're the most dehydrated. Before and after long and hard training sessions, and then just whenever you need to throughout the day. But electrolyte supplements you can either make by yourself, or you can just kind of solve your food a little bit more. Eat some bananas, take magnesium. But Yeah, I personally do take a electrolyte supplement just because I like to make sure that is 100% in check, because dehydration is one of the biggest killers of performance. 1% dehydration has been linked to heavy decreases in performance. So I like to think that I'm always very, very hydrated, because I hate not being hydrated as well. Honestly, if you think you're hungry during the day, or as soon as you wake up, you're most likely just thirsty and dehydrated. Take a scoop of electrolytes, drink some water, and your hunger will probably be gone, and your headache will magically disappear. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. But look, if you don't believe me, try it one time. I dare you. Then come back and tell me what it is. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, moving on to the last thing, and that is stress. Stress, you have to minimize the amount of stress that is on your body. And that's not just physical stress, that's mental stress, spiritual stress, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call anything. Minimizing stress maximizes muscle growth, because your body isn't thinking about anything else but recovering and building new muscle, really. If you really want to think about it. That's why bodybuilders who live for this stuff can maximize muscle growth, because that's all they're doing. They don't really have many other stresses in their life. They don't have 9 to 5 work or something like that. Or I'm not going to say they don't have family troubles, but they are focused on themselves, really. So and their journey, and some people isolate themselves during that time so they can maximize their muscle growth and maximize the least amount of decreases. That's the right terminology for that. Because high levels of stress have been linked to decreases in muscle mass, decreases in muscle protein synthesis, because your body is just trying to preserve everything and preserve everything else and maintain brain function, maintain all the other stuff. And if you're stressed, your body will get just inflamed. Usually, like if you have a very stressful time in your life, you might notice that you feel a little bit more inflamed, like joints and back gets a little tight, the gut gets really inflamed, you can't really eat as much. That's because of the stress that your body is under. And it's absolutely wild to think, when your body stops being stressed, how much better you feel on a daily basis. And obviously, that's so much easier said than done. Life is stressful, life happens, people create stress, you create stress on yourself, your brain creates stress on itself. It's extremely hard to keep those things in check, but doing everything you can, like working out, like eating whole foods, like having healthy relationships, like having a job that you truly enjoy, having those things in your life and reducing the amount of stress will help you thrive so much, especially when it comes to maximizing muscle growth. Because if your body isn't inflamed, it isn't thinking about all the other stresses it has to worry about, if your gut is in check and isn't stressed out, your body will produce immense amounts of growth in the areas that you decide to focus on, whether it be losing body weight and getting muscle, or just gaining as much muscle mass as you can. Your body will thrive. And ways to do that, again, I said, having healthy relationships, keeping everything you can in check, getting sleep. So all of it really is just managing stress. And I hear a Harry Potter song. Anyway, having that all in check will 10x your muscle growth. Not 10x, but you will feel fantastic, you will look fantastic, and your muscles will get very, very big. They're playing a flute. Are they filming a TikTok? Oh my god. No, it's not a TikTok. It's just a dance. Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. They just started like a full choreograph thing, and they're actually all killing it. Oh my god. Anyway, that was the end of my speeches anyway. So that's how to maximize muscle growth. Sorry. Getting your sleep in check, getting sufficient food, eating the right foods, training consistently, training hard, progressively overloading, supplements if you have everything else in check, and then managing stress as much as you can. Those are the biggest keys that you can do to maximize muscle growth. Again, if you have any questions, if you have anything you want me to answer, if you have any topics you want me to cover, let me know in the comment section or shoot me a DM if you know me. Not even if you know me. If you don't know me and you watch this, hello. My name's Braam. Hello. Love you. Sorry, I winked at you. Didn't mean to do it like that. But regardless, hopefully you're having a fantastic day. I'm having a fantastic day. Oh, gee, they just shushed. Oh, this is sick. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'm going to head out of here. I love you.